It's the end of August, and you know what that means, right? It's back to school season here in the U.S. The school schedule and education in general is handled by each state, but basically, the school year starts around the beginning of September. Today, let's check out some back-to-school idioms.
Welcome to another Happy English podcast coming to you from New York City. And here's your English teacher, Michael.
All right, thank you, John, and thanks, everyone. It's Michael here from Happy English, and I help people speak English better. And this is Happy English Podcast, episode 745, Back to School. For today's podcast English lesson, we're going to have a look at some common idioms that relate to school and learning. Let's start off with this short conversation between Laura and Susan, two moms getting their kids ready to go back to school.
Hey, Susan, can you believe school starts next week? Emma's so excited, but I'm a little nervous for her.
Hi, Laura. Yes, it's coming up fast. I'm excited too, but also a bit anxious. Jake's been hitting the books hard this summer to get ready for his new classes.
That's great. Emma's always been book smart, but I hope she can handle the new challenges this year. I heard the teacher's pet from her class last year is now in her new class too.
Oh, really? It sounds like Emma's going to have to adjust to that. Jake's been trying to learn the ropes of his advanced classes, so I hope he'll pass with flying colors.
I'm sure he will. And I'm hoping Emma doesn't cut class to hang out with her friends. It's such a temptation at that age.
Absolutely. I've reminded Jake to stay focused and not get distracted. He needs to hit the ground running if he wants to keep up with the curriculum.
I'm sure they will do well. Fingers crossed.
I'm sure those kids will do well too. And now, let's have a look at the idioms from this conversation. In a number of idioms in English, the verb hit can be used to mean start doing that thing. When you hit the books, you start studying seriously and with your effort. Here are some examples. I need to hit the books if I want to do well on the next TOEIC exam. Before the big history test, Anne hit the books and reviewed all her notes. Adam decided to hit the books over the weekend to prepare for school. When you hit the ground running, you start working hard with your full attention and energy. For example, Betty hit the ground running on her first day at the new job by completing several tasks. My work team needs to hit the ground running to meet the tight deadline. Benny said he's ready to hit the ground running with his new coffee shop business. Next, we have book smart. A person who is book smart has a lot of knowledge from studying and reading, but they don't have knowledge or experience in real-world situations. In other words, someone who is book smart may not have a lot of common sense. Let's look at some examples. Chris is book smart, but he sometimes needs help with everyday problems. Kathy is very book smart, but she doesn't even know how to do laundry. Being book smart is important, but practical experience is also valuable. The next one is the teacher's pet. Now, when I say the teacher's pet, I'm not talking about cats or dogs. In school, the teacher's pet is a student in a class who is favored by their teacher and quite often treated in a special way or even better than other students. For example, everyone knew John was the teacher's pet because he always got special attention. The teacher's pet always had the first choice for group projects. Eddie was the teacher's pet, but that didn't help him make friends among the other students. When someone is the teacher's pet, they probably don't cut class. Cut class. When someone cuts class, they are illegally absent from school. In other words, absent without permission. Here are some examples. Frank and his friends often cut class to hang out in the park. Grace and Karen decided to cut class and go to the movies instead. Cutting class frequently can lead to falling behind in your studies. On a ship, especially a sailing ship, there are a lot of ropes, which are used to control the ship. New sailors need to learn how to use these ropes before learning anything else. This is the basic operation of the ship. And in a similar way, on the land, when you learn the ropes, you learn the basics of how something is done. Let's look at some examples. It took Greg a while to learn the ropes of the new software system. The training session is designed to help new employees learn the ropes. Once you learn the ropes, you'll find the job much easier to handle. The last idiom for today is to pass with flying colors. When you have an exam or an interview and you pass with flying colors, you get a high score or great success. For example, Melissa passed her final exams with flying colors. Mark was thrilled to pass his driving test with flying colors. I passed my job interview last week with flying colors. Keep in mind, the best way to remember this and any other word or phrase in English is to take that word or phrase, write it in a sentence that's true for you or true in your world, and then memorize your sentences. Hey, did you know that you can get the chance to practice this kind of English with me directly? You can get more practice using your English when you join my Podcast Learners Study Group. There, you can make new friends. Join us for live group lessons every week where we practice these podcast lessons together. Plus, you get access to the PDF transcript and audio download for every Happy English podcast in the past and in the future. And on top of that, each episode has exercises where you can practice this English point with speaking and writing checked by me. To learn more, just visit myhappyenglish.com and choose podcast lesson 745. Remember, learning another language is not easy, but it's not impossible, and I'm here to help you on your journey.
This podcast was brought to you by Happy English. Please visit myhappyenglish.com. Show your support for Happy English by leaving us a review. Get English, get happy, Happy English.